to computer. There we go. We are recording. So those of you that are waiting for the property recording from Friday, forgive me. I was at work and then it was late, right? So I just rushed home. So I need to get back to work and get that downloaded. So a warm welcome, guys, to this chairman mentorship training. Chairman mentorship is six-figure mentorship. And the whole idea is that, you know, I've managed to get to this rank of chairman, and the whole idea is when you get to chairman, I've not got here alone. You guys have pushed me up to my rank, and the whole idea is that I pull everyone up. That's what I love about this company. Like, this is a company where they want everyone to win. They want everyone to do well. Put a 2 in the chat box if you've ever worked in an organization where you get the sense that not everybody wants you to win. Like, there's some sort of, you know, silly rivalry or backstabbing politics. Let me see if I've definitely been in an environment like that. It's not the case here at all. You know, everybody wants, it's just such a refreshing environment to be in where everybody wants you to do well. You know, I've just came off that webinar just now. Not sure if Joshua's on the call, but she almost had me like moved to tears with her testimony on that call, on that, on the new prospect call. She was talking about how she wakes up in the morning and she just looks forward to going into the chat box, the chat rooms for AME Finance, because it just lifts her spirits, and she loves seeing the promotions, and she loves seeing all the motivational stuff. And, you know, it's true. This is such a unique environment. So I normally have a topic and I dive into it, but this week it's just a pure Q&A. Ask me anything. You know, I haven't done a big introduction. My name is Des Ame, Chairman 25 in the business, former school teacher, loved my job, but I personally was not able to fund my lifestyle with that stream of income. So I was always searching for something. I tried many things. Some of you know that I tried things. The closest I got to financial freedom was probably when I started to do mortgages, but the mortgages it was a lot of effort, and, you know, it's good money, but it just felt like I was exchanging more of my time for money. I needed something a bit more passive and a bit more residual, to be honest. I tried nurseries with Philip. Lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money in that venture. But this venture truly has changed my whole life. Initially from trading, you know, trading was what kickstarted it all. And then when I started the team building about 3 months into my journey, yeah, that combination of my trading income and the, you know, the 30K that I make from being a chairman 25, including bonuses, is wild. It's insane. Just Friday, you know, receiving a check from IM of 11,000 for just 1 week. Like, it just blew me away. I wasn't expecting it. I just wasn't expecting something like that. But that's what this platform can do. It can, you know what it does? It allows you to dream again. Because when we were younger, we all had that dream. And then for some of us, it got battered out of us by something called life, reality. But now it's back on again. And I can't wait to celebrate the next chairmans in this group, chairwomen in this group. If you know in your heart, without any shadow of a doubt, that you can hit the rank of chairman in this company, can you just blow up the chat box, please, guys? Because I want to know who are the believers, who really believe. Because that's the first thing. If you don't have that belief, just forget it right now. Just forget it. Because you have to have that belief that it's done, and time just needs to catch up. Honestly, like, I can dream again. The things that I dreamt about as a young man, as a young boy, I can have those dreams again, genuinely, and I can't wait for you guys to have that too. Wow, amazing. So, guys, let's get started. How are we gonna do this? I'm gonna ask Brian. I'm gonna ask Bryony to moderate this, Bryony. So, guys, let's get your questions in. If you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, actually, you can do that as well. How do I get people? Okay. First question is coming right there. Okay.
Go on, I'll keep check on the bot.
Yeah, I think next time I do this, I'll probably use webinar. I know some people hate webinar because you can't see everybody and it's not as interactive. But with webinar, you've got this feature called question and answers. And it's really good for those of you that used to attend mine and Erica's Safe Space. It worked really well for that. But I've just seen one here from T. How do I get people outside of my social media to an event? Also, as well, guys, I'm obviously I'm somewhat knowledgeable in a lot of these areas, but guys, if there's someone else on this call and you think, you know what, I can take this question, I can take this, feel free to chip in. I'm not precious over this session at all. Let me just see we've got this call, just so I can just have a quick idea as to what experts we've got here. Okay, amazing. Oh wow. Incredible. Okay, so yeah, if you do want to chip in on a question, feel free to. Right, okay. How do I get people outside of so just everyday people to an event? So are we talking, so T, are we talking about people like your friends, your warm market? When you say outside of your social media, do you mean like your warm market, your friends and your family, or are you talking about like complete strangers, people that you meet on your day-to-day? Cold. I don't know them. Okay, so cold market people. Okay, cool. So first of all, this will obviously come under prospecting. So when you're prospecting people from the cold market, what you're doing is you are just asking a few questions. And the whole idea, this is the biggest mistake people make when it comes to the cold market. They try and sign them up. They want to sign them up. So imagine, so imagine, I know, I think he's talking about Matt Rosa, maybe, possibly. So imagine I'm at work. So I'm at work and I see someone in the lounge area that I've not seen before, and I want to invite them to an event. Okay, so you've hit the nail on the head to invite them to the event and not to try and sign them up. I'm only mentioning it because that's the biggest mistake people do. They see someone from the cold market and they have something called verbal diarrhea. Hey, how you doing? Oh, and I trade. Oh yeah, and we do this, and we trade gold. And oh yeah, and yeah, sign up now. Oh, here's my link. What? Oh, guys, I've seen it. Oh, and don't get me wrong, it's just naivety and excitement. I get it. I completely get it. If you saw some of my early messages to people were so dangerous. I look back on them and I just cringe. But what you have to understand is that all you need to do is take people from exposure to exposure. Why are you even talking about Forex? Forex, that's for some people, that's a big red flag because they don't understand it. You have to remember, Forex has been hijacked by a lot of scammers, a lot of people that we call unsavory, unscrupulous people have hijacked Forex. Why? Forex is a pure industry. It's used by the banks. But whenever you have something that involves money, you're going to attract the wrong kinds of people. So because of that, we have to be careful because people hear Forex and they'll think scam because they would have read something in the Daily Mail about somebody who scammers exist. You know, people don't understand that we're an educational company. So you don't need to mention Forex. You just, all you're doing is you're keeping things very brief, very short, and you're just moving them from exposure to exposure. So those of you making notes, I want you to write this down. In network marketing, they say that the average amount of exposure somebody needs is 5. That takes the pressure off, guys, because some of you get very disheartened when you don't sign somebody straight away. Look at Chanel. Chanel's on the call, right? Chanel's on the call. Chanel's a very, very good friend of mine. We go way back. We used to live together back in the day. Chanel, how many exposures would you say I had to give you before you signed up? Be honest. Actually, I'm assuming that's the right Chanel. We've got 2 Chanels. Loads. I had to give Chanel at least 16 exposures minimum. But don't get me wrong, not everybody is 16 exposures. Some people are 1. Some people sign up straight away. Bryony Bender picked up the phone. Bryony, I've just joined this thing. You need to get involved. Probably the easiest sign up I've ever had in my life, right? Some people do sign up straight away. Some need 2, some need 3. But this is what it looks like. It looks like this. Somebody they'll come onto a call. They've been exposed and they want to think about it. That's okay. We try and close them. But if they want to think about it, that's fine. Then they may see something on our Facebook page. That's actually another exposure. Then they may decide to come to an event, you know, then after the event, they're closed. I find with me, like 3 exposures tends to be like the magic number, but there are people like Kofi Ajiman, who's about to smash Chairman 10, who needed 13 exposures. So don't be too concerned about people that say no. A no is never a no. A no is somebody put that in the chat box. A no is never a no. It's just a not right now. Once you understand that, you will understand this business there's no's don't affect me anymore. No's used to really affect me. It used to kill my self-esteem. You know, like, oh, does the person not trust me? Do they not want to be in my team? Do they not believe in what I'm doing? But it doesn't affect me now because I know they're going to come back. Chanel, you know, it's just a matter of time. Today, you know, the best man at my wedding signed up today. Someone I've been, he's probably had about 1,063 exposures. You know, Chanel will know who I'm talking about. Okay. The best man at my wedding only signed up today. And even then, he only signed up as an IBO, right? But at least like it's part of the way. So in terms of answering that question directly, I would, you know, if with this cold market person, I would strike up a conversation, and very quickly that conversation should lead to. So if we're having a conversation, hey, how you doing? How's your day going? Oh, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Look, I've seen you around here, wherever it may be. But very quickly, you want to get to what do you do? Like, do you mind if I ask what you do for a living? Oh, tip as well. If somebody asks you what you're doing for a living, flip it back on them. Always get them to answer first so that you've got a bit more information. So if someone asks me, oh, what do you do for a living? I'm like, listen, I could talk all day about what I do. What do you do? I really want to know what they do for a living. So once they say what they do for a living, whatever it is, I don't really care what they do for a living, to be honest, but obviously pretend that you're interested or be interested actually. But then my next question is, you know, do you enjoy what you do? Again, I don't really care whether they enjoy it or whether they don't enjoy it. My next question is very pertinent. Are you open to other forms of income? Are you open to other streams of income? Yes. Most people will say yes to that question. Okay, cool. Listen, I can't talk right now because I'm in a rush. Notice that I'm in a rush. Or I can't talk right now because I'm about to do X. We've actually got an event. I think the question was about an event, right? Well, we've actually got an event coming up. I need you to clear your schedule. I'm gonna take your number, give you a call. So basically, just arrange another a follow up. So you're gonna arrange another exposure. I would probably build a relationship a bit more before inviting them to an event. So I'd probably get their details, and then maybe talk about the event when you contact them again. Maybe even get them on a call. If it was me, I would get them onto a call rather than an event. I'd probably try to get them signed up before the event and get them to come to the event with prospects. That's what I would do. I would get them to come to the event with prospects. So hopefully I've answered that question. Let me just move on to another one.
Next one is, in your opinion, should we be focused on team building or trading?
Okay, so I want to make something very clear so there's no confusion. We are a trading company first, and network marketing is secondary. Always get it the right way around. We are not a network. We're a trading company. So for me, trading is always the priority. Unless you've joined as an IBO only, like the best man at my wedding, if he's just going to build. So if you've come in just to build, then build. If you've come in to trade. So for me, if it was me, I would do both because they're both unbelievable opportunities. So if it was me, if somebody came in new and said to me, what should I do? I would say schedule time to do both. I don't prioritize one over the other. Why? Because the trading is bread and butter and the team building is about impacting other people and also creating another income stream. Success loves speed. I was so slow to get started. I mean, don't get me wrong. I went 2 and 3 pretty much straight away. But in terms of building, like really building, I joined in February 2018. I didn't sign Nikki, my third person, until her birthday, which was May the 8th. So yeah, I would do both. But trading is the priority. If you really had to prioritize one over the other, trading is the skill that you've signed up for. Next question, please.
So this one was from me in the chat box. So how would you recommend for developing leaders, so people that are like kind of P150, P600, to ensure that they're building momentum in their sub teams? So how they're keeping the momentum flaring in their little groups.
So you got P600 who's got 12 people in their team.
Yeah, or even P150s.
And how do they keep the momentum in their group?
Yeah. So without being reliant, of course, on yourself building the momentum, myself building momentum, what can they do to ensure that their groups are building momentum?
So first of all, their group they're going to be watching what they're doing. So in this industry, it's not what works, it's what duplicates. So I would say for them to be having lots of activity and, kind of demonstrating that they're leading from the front. So it's not do what I do. It's not do as I say, it's do as I do. I lead from the front. people see me. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not saying everyone has to have my work ethic. It's pretty crazy, right? But people see me, and it's very difficult. If I say to someone to do X, it's very difficult for them to say no because they see that I'm doing it. So I would say walk the walk. You know, put the work in and let your team see that. So, for example, prospecting. So if my team can see, hey, look, I'm prospecting. So we have something called the daily habit, the income producing text that we have that lists all the things that you should be doing every day. Guys, let me be clear. This daily freedom habit list of things, there's only about 9 things on there, okay? But it's very quick. If you do them every single day without fail and make it non-negotiable, so a big shout to Nicole Palmer. Is Nicole Palmer on here? Nicole Palmer, Sassy Thompson, they're accountable to me and they send me their thing every single day. I'm probably some others I've forgotten as well. They send me their sheet every single day. Because if you do all of the things on that sheet, your activity is going to bear fruit. So I would say do the activity and let your team see what you're doing, because it's going to become infectious. They're going to be like, oh, wow. So imagine I've got a small group, okay? And this is what you see from me. You see my daily income producing activity sheet going into the group. Hey guys, here's what I've done today. And then also you see new people being added to the group. Hey, new member, signed by Desame. Remember back in the day when I was just new member, Desame. I just wanted people to see that I'm active. This is what I'm doing, so people can see the energy and promotions, you know, promoting people and really encouraging people to celebrate the promotions, so that people see that there's energy in the group, there's activity and there's energy. So walking that walk, not just talking that talk. And then alongside of that, it's you know, ensuring that every single person is plugged into a product. That's one of the most important things to do if you're a group leader. Going through your group, is everyone plugged in? No? Okay. Why are they not plugged in? Every single person in your team should be plugged into an educator or a product. They must be getting value. If they're not getting value, even if they're just plugged into one of our educators' system, but they've got to be plugged into something. If you've got someone in your team who's not plugged into a product or a service, you're in danger of losing that person, because this academy is all about value. If people are not getting value, they're not going to pay their bills. So even the copy, paste, and profit, the trade outs, guys, if you're making money from the signals, can you just put a 4 in the chat box, please? Pro Signals, Gold Cup. If you're making money from the signals, just put a 4 in the chat box, guys, because I don't know if you know, but the Pro Signals I actually pay for externally. It costs a pretty penny. But my thing is, I don't mind paying if it means everybody's going to eat. I know there's more than just 2 people eating from those signals. But just take every single signal. So in answer to that question, make sure that everyone's plugged in. So make sure everybody's getting value. Make sure that you're doing the work, so that the people in your team can see that you're doing the work.
Amazing. Okay, next question. I haven't spoke to any of my warm market whatsoever. What should be my next steps to build my team?
Can I ask why they haven't spoken to their warm market?
Yeah,
that was me, Des. I've just been so focused on the trading, I just haven't had the time. Or to be honest, do you know what? That's probably a lie. Actually, I probably put off speaking to them. I don't like selling to friends and family. That.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and you know what? I was speaking to someone the other day, and some people find it way more comfortable speaking to strangers than speaking to themselves. And I get it. You know, I look back on some of my, let me see if I can get, all right, guys, you're going to laugh at some of the messages I used to send to some people in my close circle. It's, especially, I think people ask often, what's one of the hardest things about this business? And in the beginning, it's a temporary loss of self-esteem a little bit, you know, going to like friends and family and, you know, potentially them rejecting what you're doing. It's tough. It really is tough. So to make that easier, what I'd probably say is you've got your so VIP lists are really important in this business. So you've got a VIP list, and that's your warm market. So I would say to work through that list with the intention of just inviting them to an opportunity call, so that you're not actually selling, and that takes the pressure off of that call. Because what you're not doing is saying, "Hey, how you doing? Long time no speak. I'm selling this educational package. Would you like to buy it?" No. All you're saying is that, look, hey, how's it going? Long time no speak, blah, blah. Get the small talk out of the way. Look, I haven't got much time to speak, but I know that you know, are and it's going to be personal to the person. So I know that you are, looking for ways to generate extra money, or I know that you're always I know that you've always been business minded. I know that, you've got a huge why. I know that you're always looking to build like generational wealth. So you're in a hurry, you're giving them a compliment, and then you're going to explain that, you've got this opportunity, you've been in it for a while. I've been in this opportunity for a few months. It really has, changed my life, or it's really been having an impact on me. I just want to invite you to an opportunity call that we've got tonight or this week. It would be great if you could jump on, and once they've jumped on, we follow up with them. But because you're just inviting them to an opportunity call, it takes the pressure off of the call, because you're not having to sell to them. You don't have to go into detail. You don't have to explain it's Forex. It's just an opportunity. They may say, hey, what is it? What is it? Tell me what's about. Listen, I'm actually in a rush, but that's the whole reason why we put on these calls. I don't want to do it a disservice. You know what I mean? This is a huge industry, and I don't want to explain something that's so big in a few minutes to do it a disservice. Just, if you can, just jump on the call. Honestly, when I'm speaking to some of my friends, I'm like, listen, there's a call tonight. You need to jump on this. There's certain friends, you got certain friends you can just talk to really direct. Sometimes I'm just super direct. I'm like, you just need to get on this call. So yeah, I'd follow those steps, get them on the call, follow up with them. But your warm market is such a good way to get started. I got started with my warm market. So we have our warm market, we have the cold market, and we have the gold market. We have the gold market as well. The gold market is powerful. So when people say no to me, I say, okay, yeah, no problem. But do you know anybody else that this may be, this may be for? And I've signed up a couple of people from that. I've turned those into potential signups. And there's also a list that I made up recently called the chicken list. There's people in my phone book that I was like, I'm not calling them. They're not going to be interested. And I've started calling those. And that's been quite powerful as well. So did I answer your question, Matt? Brilliant. Amazing. Thank you so much. Guys, who's pleased to see Matt back? I'm so happy to see this guy back. Can you just put a 5 in the chat box if you are happy to see Matt McCallum back? Wow. Powerhouse. Absolute powerhouse. Amazing. He's going to be doing weekly training as well that I'm sure that he would love for you to jump onto. Incredible. Next question. So yeah, listen, here's the funny thing about your warm market. You're not going to become a chairman from your warm market. Your warm market is just to kind of really get you started. The most powerful thing in this industry is taprooting. So when you've got your warm market and you've got your cold market, and then you start to taproot, once you understand the power of taprooting, you will never, ever run out of prospects, because you are taprooting through the network that you already have. It's so powerful. Okay, Brandy, next question.
At a beginner level,
so just to plug, yeah, Tuesday 8 p.m. pivot scanner training, date for your diary. I'm not sure if Tamer's on the call, but could we just make sure Tamer's got that on the schedule as well?
She's indeed on the call. Okay, so next question is, at a beginner's level, who would you recommend on the go live?
At beginner level?
Yep.
I'd have to give a big shout to my boy, Mr. Dankwa. I forgot his first name, huh? What if I forgot his first name? Ralph Dankwa. Ralph Dankwa does the basics. So I'd spend a bit of time with Ralph going through the basics if you're an absolute beginner. And then once you've kind of gone through the beginner stages, so you've kind of done you've gone through the basics videos in the academy, and you have done a little bit of Ralph, maybe been with Ralph for a week or so, I would then, what to choose from. I'm a massive, harmonics fan. Guys, that's a tough one.
Money Bootcamp's really good for any strategy as well. The 1-8 is just, it's amazing.
Yeah, the Manny Quinones Bootcamp. I'll put the poster in at the end of this. If I forget, Brian, can you do that for me?
Yeah.
There's a bootcamp poster going through the bootcamp, and then naturally you'll gravitate towards the multi-fire strategy, but it's not the only strategy. I don't know. That's a tough one. Guys, what do you think, guys? What do you think would you say is for a beginner? What would you recommend? So we've got things like DeLorean. We've got things like pivots. ECC 11. What was you going to say, Bryony?
I do recommend the boot camp for everybody, only because he doesn't really focus it on harmonics. Like, he literally covers the whole of like 200 sort of onwards. So that's really good, and then they can stop and shoot there. So it's under his favourite.
Was the question more to do with strategy?
No, it was just who to watch on Go Live.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. If it's just who to watch, then Bryony's absolutely right. Definitely do the boot camp. I'm literally putting the poster in Trade House right now. The boot camp's powerful, but if it's to do more of like what kind of strategy to follow after that, you can see in the chat box, people will plug in their relevant person boot camp. I've just put it in there, the instructions for that's the boot camp. So if you're new, definitely do that boot camp. It's amazing. Most people talk about how it's a deep dive. So the 100 series kind of goes over things at a surface level, but then Manny goes deeper in the boot camp. After you've watched that, you're on fire for trading. Like, you understand it on a different level. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Feel free to unmute yourselves, guys, if you want to ask a question. And it could be it could be about the chairman journey, you know, things, anything to do with the chairman journey or becoming a chairman.
I've got a question, and there's another in the box. Who would you say that your go-to for personal development is at the moment? Like, your go-to person for inspiration?
I mean, maybe I'm biased, but Bob Proctor, huge Bob Proctor fan, especially because he's part of the academy as well. We have him once every fortnight. Amazing. But I love to watch people who have made huge strides in this industry. You see, I've just finished watching a Netflix series called The Last Dance, and it's about Michael Jordan. If you haven't watched it, honestly, guys, that's personal development oh man. I was so on fire after The Last Dance. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was just pacing. It's absolutely insane. And I came away from watching that thinking to myself, I want to be the best in the world. I want to be the absolute best in the world. That's what I want to strive for, you know, and, you know, shoot for the moon, or shoot for the stars, and, you know, that whole analogy. And I'm like, I want to be like Michael Jordan. I'm going to put in so much time. I want to do the equivalent of putting in time on the court, but into this industry. So I'm so focused now on personal development like ever before. So what I'm doing now is I'm studying some of the greats. So a lot of the personal development I'm doing now is I'm looking at who's the best in this industry. Who can I learn from? I'm so hungry for knowledge. So right now I'm watching a lot of Holton Buggs. Holton Buggs is a very, very successful network marketer. I'm watching a lot of him at the moment. David Imonite, Gary V for motivation. So there's a difference between motivation and personal development. For motivation, I'm drawn towards Gary V and so forth. But yeah, I'm success leaves clues. So I'm really studying people who have made it big in this industry.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for that.
Becoming a chairman, is it harder than working? Oh yeah, go for it.
When you start earning money and creating a team, do you need to be self-employed? How does the tax and the national insurance work?
Great question. Okay, so trading is tax-free as long as it's not your only income. But the team building money is taxable. It's officially taxable. So do you want to know the good news? The good news is this falls under home business. When you're self-employed as a home business, so many things become tax deductible. Like so many things. I see something because he might get very animated. Like you can I don't know, like everything. Oh yeah, I need that for my home business. Yeah, that's for my home business. Like literally, if you've got an accountant that understands home business, you can write so many things off. So that's the good news. Some people, do you know there are some people, when I went to Punta Cana in Dominican Republic, Matt and Jason did a whole boot camp on tax, right? We were like, really? Can't we just go and swim in the sea? And I said he claims he's two-faced. So there are some people who become, in America, they're so clued onto this. Some people become IBOs just so that they can say, I've got a home business, and they can just claim loads of stuff on their on their tax. So yeah, claim everything, and just bring down that tax bill. So let me just make sure.
Okay, becoming a chairman, is it harder than working a 9 to 5?
I would say this. When you're working a 9 to 5, it's like you're working hard, but it's not yours. It's like you're working for someone. Working on this, I don't know if hard is the right word. Maybe you could say it's hard. So this is what I keep in the forefront of my mind. I'm working hard now so that I can enjoy my time later. So I do put in the work, and some people look at me. There are a lot of wives that don't like me right now. Some of the people on this call now, they know exactly what I'm talking about. There's some wives they're like, I don't want my partner to turn into you. I'm like, okay, cool, that's cool. But the bigger the vision is that I will get my time back. So it is work. In the beginning, it's like any business. You have to put in a lot of time, and not a lot of time. You can go at different paces. I look at some people that are about to hit chairman, and I think, you've got a really nice balance about you. So I've chosen to go down this road of working really hard, probably working harder than I was in my 9 to 5. I'll probably say I am, but it's not through gritted teeth. Does that make sense? It's not like I'm working. I'm like, oh my God, it's so enjoyable. Like this, it's 10 o'clock on a Sunday evening. I'm happy. This is great. I love this. So yeah, some people call it working, but it's enjoyable because it's having impact. So I don't consider what I do is work. I consider it like a hobby, something that I enjoy. But if you would call it work, then you could say I'm working harder than my 9 to 5. But it's not always going to be like this. I'm building a business. Where I've got those of you that have been in long enough will know I spent so much time on my other leg, Nikki's leg. Like so much time. Brandy will tell you the amount of time I put into that. Now I don't work on Nikki's leg anymore. I don't work on that leg at all. I don't even invite them to calls. They do their own thing. In time, potentially I could have 3 legs like that. And it's just an automated business with loads of chairmans. I don't know why you're laughing, Brandy, because I need to get your leg needs to be like that. With loads of imagine a leg with you've got chairmans in their own right. The pressure's now off and I can chill. The reality is I'll never chill because it's just not in my nature. I love being in the trenches, but that's how it can be. So
amazing. Right, some of them have sent privately, Des, so I've got them in order. You'll like this one. If Des could go back, what advice would you give yourself at the start of your journey?
Let's go back.
It's a good question. I like that.
Don't care what people think.
Ooh.
I think I like not to care what people think, not to get too hung up over the rejection. I could have saved myself so much time by studying Success Leaves Clues, and I wish that I'd studied Matt Rosa earlier. Once I started studying Matt Rosa and what he was doing and the way he built, it made my life so much easier. I wish I did that. I think they were the main things. Just not to care so much about what people think, and just to be really focused on my goals. I think I wasted a lot of time in the beginning just thinking about, okay, what's this person, what's this going to think, who's going to think what, and just to be really focused on what I'm doing. That's the best piece of advice I would have given to myself, and to know that success leaves clues. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just look at what the people that have gone before you, what are they doing, and follow that. I wish I'd got that game plan from Shabazz earlier. That was powerful. What Shabazz told me, so much gold. Incredible.
Okay, amazing. How do you find the work-life balance right without burning yourself out? Do you find it hard to switch off?
The best piece of advice I can give anyone, especially anyone with a family, is to, when you're, be present at appropriate time. So when I'm on my business, I'm fully focused on my business. And then when I'm with the family, I'm fully present with them. So don't try and do both. Don't try and you're half with your family and then half trying to on your phone as well. Just try and, that's how I get my balance right, is by having scheduled time. And when I'm in that particular thing, I'm present for that particular thing. Like today I was present, phone practically off, I'm present. How do you get the balance right? is to schedule, just to kind of have a schedule. So especially if you've got a 9 to 5, have set grinding hours. So okay, I'm gonna grind between 7 and 10. You can work at your job, but also put in time to your business or to your into your dreams. Wait, I'm just gonna make you co-host so you can manage.
Yep.
Okay, you're now co-host, so you can help mute people. I'll just mute right now.
Okay, ready for next question?
Let me make sure I've answered that one quick. Yeah, so yeah, getting the balance right is having a schedule. The thing is, I don't want people to look at me and think it has to be like how I do it. You know, I work extremely hard, and some of you see me at the tower too late, and I don't want to put anyone off thinking that's how you've got to do it. That's not the case. There are people who have gone chairman. Okay, let me use Yassin as an example. Yassin Shabon was a full-time solicitor, and then he grinded from 6 to 10 on his chairmanship, you know, and he reached chairman. I've just decided to go down this path because I'm so addicted and passionate about what I do. But my way is not the only way. You know, there are other ways to do this. You can do this part-time, you can do this full-time, but just schedule your time. Schedule when you're going to do things so that everything's clear and everything's separated. And when you're doing stuff with the family, be present with them. Don't do stuff with them, but then you're with them, but you're on your phone, you know, or you're doing your business, but then you're just try and be present for each thing appropriately.
Amazing. Apart from growing your own academy, do you have any other business adventures?
Business ventures. So that's an interesting question. So I got to this crossroads in my business. When I was building up to P2K, I was doing mortgages, like writing mortgages. I was doing cases, and I was also the nurseries were fading out. Philip and I had a nursery. Philip and I had about 3 or 3.5 nurseries. I say half because after school club, and then they were kind of fading out. And I got to this point where I was stuck at P2K. And I called Shabazz and I said, bro, I'm struggling. I don't know how to break through to P5K. I don't know what to do. And he said, Des, you need to focus. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, you're trying to do everything. You're trying to do mortgage, you're trying to do that. And I said, wow, he's right. This guy's so young, but he's so wise. So what I did was I had to knock the mortgages on the head. And that was a good income for me. It was a really good source of income. And Brian will tell you when I made the call and I said, look, I'm not going to do mortgages anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a team of people to do mortgages for AMA Finance, but I'm going to stop writing them myself. So that was a really powerful lesson to just focus. So in terms of ventures, yeah, I have multiple sources of income. So I'm a property. I've got a small property empire. So that produces residual income from there. On the note of property, I've partnered with James Filtness, and we have the Probate Property Company. What other ventures have I got? You probably know most of my ventures. What other things have I got going on? I forget sometimes. Actually, no. I'll tell you that I've actually got a OneNote called Sources of Income.
And just the leverage of obviously giving our financial products out. Obviously, that's a stream of income for you.
Which one?
So like our financial products, of course, as much as you give them out to external, it still builds a revenue for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got here, obviously, the mortgage brokers that we have working for us. Obviously, I'll make some income off of what they do. We should do protection a lot. Protection's dried up a little bit now. I invest a lot in cryptocurrencies that actually pay out a weekly amount. So there's some cryptos that when you invest in them, they pay weekly dividends. Shares in BT, paying out dividends from that. My trading income. We've obviously got a trading floor as well, which is absolutely superb. Solicitors. Yeah, I won't go into details, but solicitor referrals. That's linked to home buying really. Rent from all the properties. Mindex dash Medilabs, Dagcoin, Hypercapital. Yeah. Okay, next question.
Right, I'm going to skip to this because it follows on from your answer, and then I'll go back. Following on from that question, is P2K a good point to hand over your business and focus on building? So this is from somebody who's got an existing business. Would you recommend handing it over?
Okay, that question I say is always personal for that person's. You know, there are some people who would be so happy to leave their full-time gig at P2K, and there's some people that would be like, no way. You know, it needs to be P5K. Some people are like, no, it needs to be chairman. It's a really good question actually, because this is what I really struggled with. So when I was still teaching up until June 2018, and I had to make that transition from teaching to not teaching at all, and that's a really steady income coming in. And I got to P2K when I left. Yes, I had some other source of income, but in terms of steady income, teaching was like one of my it was my steadiest income. So it was quite a scary move. So for me, I left at P2K because I wanted to give it my all to get to P5K, as well, and still balance doing the mortgages until Shabazz said to stop doing them. There's two roads you can go down. You can either get to the rank that replaces the business or the job that you've got, that completely replaces it, or maybe the one just before and then give it a big push to get there. Never put yourself in a situation that's going to make you financially bad. It's going to put your finances in a bad situation. So it's a personal question. I wouldn't like to advise unless it's a personal conversation and we're looking into your finances. But my advice would be to if you are going to leave a business, to do so at a rank where you know that you're not going to fall into any financial difficulty by doing so. But there's a lot of power in pressure. There's a lot of power in pressure. I think that's what I wanted. That's why I left at P2K, because I wanted that pressure. It focuses the mind a little bit when you're like, okay, I don't know if you remember, Bryony. Do you remember, Bryony, when once I shut off the mortgages, I actually got to quite a serious situation. I remember turning to Bryony and saying,
I've got to go P5K.
I've got to go P5K. Like, this is scary now. Like I was at a point where I was like, okay, cool. Everything's going well. But if I don't hit P5K, I've actually made a massive gamble and this could not pay off. So I think of people like David Talbot, who left his full-time job at like P5 something.
2 and 3.
2 and 3. I think it was like 2 and 3 or something, right? And I'm like, bro, are you sure? It's a tricky one to answer, that one. David Talbot did it at like P150 or something like that. Okay. I'm not telling people to do that. Okay. He had nothing. Okay. It's scary, but there was something brave about what David did because it focused his mind. I wasn't as brave as David, but I was a little bit brave because, okay, so we call it sink or swim. I want you to write that down. Sink or swim. Sink or swim is when you put yourself in a situation where you are literally going to sink or you're going to swim. Now, I'm not actively saying for people to do that, because if you sink, I don't want it to be in my head, but there is a power in it. And I have to profess that, because I'll be doing you a disservice if I didn't do that. There's a power in being in a sink or swim where you're like, I've got to swim and I'm going to, do you know the kind of fire that's under your belly when you're looking at your situation and you know that if you're not swimming, your family's not eating? That kind of pressure really kind of makes you work and really gets you focused towards your goals. Sink or swim is very, very, very powerful. Okay, next question, please.
Okay, does it get harder as you climb ranks?
I think the beginning's harder.
Yeah, me too.
I think the beginning's harder. Where are my platinum 150s? Put a 5 in the chat box if you're a platinum 150. Platinum 150 is tough. Once you get to platinum 150, guys, once you get to platinum 150, jump on a training with me. I'm going to give you a training that's going to help you skyrocket to platinum 600. Platinum 150. Platinum 150 is tough. Platinum 600 is tough. From there, imagine at platinum 600, you've got a team of 12. that's where things really take off. That's things really, really take off at those ranks. So I'd say it gets, I don't know, I don't like using words like easy, but you've got a team to leverage. Once you have a team, you can really take this business forward. It's
more tools.
Shall I tell you why it's tough? Because in the beginning, who recognizes this? In the beginning, your business does this. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up a little bit, then it goes down. Somebody joins, you pour into them, they leave. Then it goes up again, then it goes down. And your business is doing this. It's going up and down, up and down. In this process, this is where a lot of people lose the vision and they leave. That's why not everybody's successful, because not everybody can survive that, because you've got the devil on your shoulder saying, "Are you sure this business is working? What are you doing? Someone's just left and you're still in this business. You sure you don't want to leave? Why don't you just concentrate on X? That's going to produce more fruit. You can't do this business. You're not a leader. Who told you you're a leader? Chairman? Really? You think you're a chair? You're gonna have those voices on your shoulder because your business is doing this. But the most reassuring thing I can tell you right now, that's normal. It's happened to everyone. Look, Bryony's business did this for ages. Bryony, we was in Miami. Bryony's like, I've just lost half my team. I'm like, Bryony, I'm trying to listen to the speakers. Yeah, but Bryony, just relax. You're gonna get it back and then some. Bryony's a solid P5K now, 5,000 a month. Because if you don't survive this, if you can't survive it when it's like that, because what you need to understand is you're building a foundation. You're building a foundation. Kofi's laughing. Kofi went through it as well. You're building a foundation. And then suddenly, guess what happens? The foundation becomes solid. It becomes solid. Because during this time, people are rejecting you. People are saying no. So you're questioning yourself. Is it me? Am I a leader? Oh, I'm not as good as Des. I'm not as good as Bryony. I'm not as good as Kofi. I'm not as good as David. But we all went through it. We all went through that. People leave. They lose sight of their vision. The biggest power that you have is just not giving up. Somebody write in the chat box, I will not quit. I will not quit. That's the biggest power that you have, is just not to quit. Just not to quit. Just making that decision. When I went to Miami, one of the first things they said was, be here next year. They said, be here next year. And you're already winning from just being here next year. I will not quit. That's the biggest power that you have. When your business is doing that, just know it's normal. Just know it's going to solidify. And then it's going to become solid. And then guess what happens? Now, I'm reminded about the Chinese bamboo tree. Okay, the Chinese bamboo tree, you can be watering and tendering to that plant for 7 years and not see any fruit. Did you know that? And not see any fruit for 7 years, the Chinese bamboo tree. And then in the 7th year, it shoots up in like 7 days, like 7 foot. So imagine, as you're spending that time watering for 7 years, what do you think's happening to the people that are walking past your bamboo tree? What kind of things do you think they're saying? What are you doing? What are you doing? Give up. That's 7 years you've been watering that and there's nothing. Just maybe a little sprout. And then they're going to think you're nuts. They see you every day. Imagine every day you go out with your little watering can. But what are you doing? You're watering your vision. Just watering your vision. People are like, are you still watering that thing? Really? It's been 6 years. But you're staying true to it. You're just watering it. Just watering. Somebody put in the chat box, I'm watering my vision. I'm watering my vision. I'm pouring water in my vision. And then in the 7th year, imagine this Chinese bamboo tree shoots up 7 feet in like 7 days. Forgive me if my figures are slightly off, but it's incredible, right? 7 feet in 7 days. And then guess what those same people are going to say? Oh, I knew you could do it. Oh, I always knew you could do it. You're special. I always knew that you were going to, I always knew you was going to grow that tree. Guys, this thing is all about belief. I'm going to probably take one more before I'm going to respect your time by ending on time. This thing is all about belief, guys. Honestly, it's one of the biggest things, belief. Let me tell you a quick anecdote. There was this experiment in Germany, right? And they put a job advert out for I can't remember what the job was for. It doesn't really matter what the job is for. But the job salary was 10K per year. Okay. So loads of people applied, they shortlisted, and then about 8 people came for the interview. Okay. Now, when they came for the interview, they put all of those 8 people in a room. They left them in the room. They were talking. And then the person doing the experiment came back in with a clipboard and said, "Hey guys, sorry, there's been a mistake with the job advert. It's actually not £10,000. It's actually £100,000 a year. So sorry for our mistake. If you're still interested in the job, by all means, stick around. If you're not, then, no problem. It's our bad. Sorry. And they left the room. What do you think happened? Someone come off the mic and tell me what you think happened. Come off mute, sorry. Anyone got to guess what they think happened?
I missed the question, mate. Sorry.
Some people left.
Okay, so job advert goes out. It's a job with a 10,000.
Invited the whole social media, and it was a massive party.
So people applied for the job. 8 got shortlisted for this job. It was 10,000 a year. They turned up. They were sitting in the room. The person conducting the experiment, who was the employer or whoever, came back into the room and said, "Hey, we made a mistake. It's not £10,000 a year. It's actually £100,000 a year." Then he left. When they came back to the room, everybody had left. Everybody left. The job didn't change. But they didn't believe that they were worthy of 100K a year. So they just left. I find that anecdote so powerful. The power of the mind. If you knew how powerful the mind was, you'd be afraid to think negatively. Who believes that they're worthy of earning 10K a month? Who believes that they're worthy of earning $250,000 a year, $500,000 a year? Because some people don't even feel like they're worthy of that. I'm being honest with you guys. Some people, you don't really believe that you can go chairman. I remember having a massive fight with Bryony Bender one day at the Tower. Because Kofi was there. It was me, Kofi, Bryony Bender, and 2 other people. Pardon, who's that?
Philip and April.
Who's it?
Philip and April.
Oh, Philip and April. That's it. Yeah, Philip and April. And I turned to every single one of them. I said, "Do you believe you can go chairman?" Meanwhile, I'm not even a chairman, by the way. I'm like a P5K. I'm like, "Do you believe you can go chairman?" Yes. Next one. "Do you believe you can go chairman?" Yes. "Do you believe you can go?" And I got to Bryony. "Do you believe you can go chairman?" The way she said yes, I wasn't happy with it, so I challenged her. Then it became this back and forth. She got upset. She stormed off. And then we got into this fight, and I said, "You don't believe you can go chairman?" She said, I do. No, you don't. I can see it in your eyes. You don't believe you can go chairman. And the biggest problem that I've got with you right now is that I need you to see what I can see. Because I can see the chair lady inside you. And then we changed the mindset. And now, Bryony Bender, chairman, within the next 3 months is done. Woo! Okay, guys, was there a burning question, Bryony, that you saw?
It's a nice one to end on if you want to end on one.
Yep.
It's a personal one to you. So we've seen you basically achieve many of your goals and whys through this journey. What is your next goals and whys that you're looking to achieve?
Okay, that is a good one. So, okay, there's two things that are so close to my heart. The first thing is, I grew up in a town called Dagenham. Okay, those of you that know Dagenham will know it's not a very aspirational place. Okay, like most people growing up, just wanted to work at Ford's factory and so forth, which is absolutely nothing wrong with working at Ford's factory, but no one thought anything other than that. Or if you work in a shop, you're like the man, right? So I grew up in a quite I don't like using words like deprived, but it's a quite poor part of London. And growing up, I was I always felt like our family were like behind the other families. I always felt like everyone had the nice stuff and we never had any nice stuff. And I remember feeling so kind of hard done by and downtrodden, and just thinking that, oh man, life sucks kind of thing. And then my mum took us to Ghana one year when we was quite young. And we went to Ghana. When you come out of the airport of Ghana, that whole area is so beautiful and rich. I remember thinking, wow, Ghana's amazing. I love this country. It's beautiful. But we didn't actually stay there. We went to like the village where my mum's from. Went to the village and I bucked up with my cousins and I spent so much time with my cousins. And as I was chilling with my cousins, I realized how good we had it. like I realized, like, oh man, like there's me complaining, like, and I just developed this why instantly that I wanted to be somebody when I'm older, for whatever it is, whether it was 'cause I was really into drama, whether it's acting, whether it was this, whether it was that. I want to be somebody so that I could be a blessing to them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I really wanted to be able to like help them, because and that's been a massive driving force for me. So that's a major why for me. I wanna go back to Ghana, and I wanna, you know, start businesses there. I wanna build schools. I want to repair. Like when I went to Ghana in February, and I went back to the hospital where I was born, and I'm there looking at this hospital, and I'm like, wow, like, imagine you come into this hospital to get better, and you leave with a new sickness that you didn't even have when you arrived. Like, that's how I felt. It looked horrible, and I was just like, and I turned to my cousin. I said, why is this hospital like this? And he said, oh, that's our best hospital. That's the best one. Like I was like, no, okay, I need to work hard. I need to fix this hospital. Like this is not good enough at all. Like I need to build schools. And then also in the UK, I genuinely feel like financial education should be a compulsory subject in secondary schools. Like genuinely, like I don't know why it's not. I don't know why, like financial. Why don't people know about APR? How many of you know what APR is? Hardly nobody, right? People, like, it should just be, that's why so many people end up broke. They don't understand money. So I really want to start a campaign that will ultimately lead to getting 100,000 signatures or something, where we can put pressure on the government, where financial education is a compulsory subject in all secondary schools in England and Wales. And to facilitate that, I'd like to open the very first free school in London that has financial education at the heart of what it does, to kind of kickstart that. So that's the vision. That's the vision. Wow. Guys, I want to respect your time. First of all, I've done one of these, so forgive me if I'm a little bit rusty. I will get better. But I just want to give value. We'll probably do one again, you know, in a few months' time. Absolutely. Oh, wow. Thank you for the kind words, guys. I really appreciate it. Guys, the only thing better than being a chairman is producing other chairmen. In fact, I think that's even better. Producing chairmen is better than even being a chairman. Like when Kofi hits chairman, like I'm gonna be in tears. Like I'll genuinely be in tears. Like I'm gonna be in bits. When Bryony hits chair lady, I'm gonna be like, you know, that's the thing that really motivates me. So I can't wait for you guys to hit this rank. It's done. Guys, I want you to know that we're about 3 years behind the Americans. About 3 years behind them. And then when you see the momentum that they've got, like, and the amount of chairmen that they have in one team, that's happening with us. Like, when I say I'm so happy and grateful that there's 20 chairmen and chairwomen in AMA Finance Academy at the end of 2021, I know it's done because I've seen it. I've seen the promised land, guys. And if you, for the final time, guys, if you know that you are becoming a chairman or a chair lady and it's done, I want you to blow up the chat box as we end this call. I'm ending it right now. I want to respect your time. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Let's make it happen. Nothing but love and respect, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. And guys, let's start this week strong. Let's start this week strong. Let's go. My speaker's not charged. I can't even play anything. It's not charged. You know, just think about things that have to charge, right? Then wish it was battery operated.
They're waiting for this.
Sing.
Magnitude intimidating because the road is tough. I was thinking because I kind of never understood. People doubt you if you're doing things they never would. Get a hand up. Yeah, I wish a dreamer would. Hands down till a man's down.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. Guys, that's the end of the call. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Are you at level up? All right, Cara wants level up. Why's my speaker not working? All right, guys. You gotta level up. She wants level up. No speaker.
Level up, 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 level up.
Who's leveling up? Who's leveling up? Woo! Hold on, hold on. Woo! Comebacks on 100. Woo! Let's go. Sheesh. Who's winning on another level? Who's ready to win on another level? The private messages are killing me. Woo! Let's go! Give you guys some fire.
No, that didn't work.
Woo! Level up. Level up. All right, guys, I'm out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Take care, guys. All the best.